Hello everyone in English 1301, it's Dr. E and I'm here with your week 5 instructional video. Thank you so much for your patience and for being so kind. Some of you reached out to check on my well-being this past week and I appreciate it. It's just that time of year, right? Some of you are probably also going through the congestion and the not feeling super well, and boy, you know, it happens, right? So hopefully you are all doing well, taking care of yourself, doing what you need to stay healthy. I'm definitely trying to do the same. Let's go ahead and jump into what we're going to work on accomplishing this week in week 5. I do have a note here that says I'm definitely going to work on updating all of your grades this week. So some of it is just transferring from the paper version of my grade book. Some of it is getting in there and grading some of the recent things. If you're seeing a line in the grade book when you go to look at your grades, that just means that the grades have not been updated yet. It does not mean you received a 0. I know that sometimes there's a concern related to that, but just if you receive a 0, you will see a 0 there, so don't worry. If you're looking to get ahead, remember that the activities we're doing this week were originally last week, week 4. So if you look at our kind of outdated schedule at this point, what we have in week 5 is what you can get ahead to do. But if you are not a get ahead kind of person, totally fine. But I'll be working on updating that schedule and posting and sharing that. But I'll let you know when that's done. So for this week, we're reading a chapter in our course text. It's about how to annotate other people's work. Like when we're doing research, it's important that we're giving credit, right? So annotating, summarizing, and responding is all related to that. So this chapter is really helpful. Our editors do a really good job of getting in there and kind of defining what each step is, but also the best kind of strategy when it comes to completing those tasks. When we're doing research, we need to keep track. We need to annotate, we need to summarize, and sometimes, you know, when it comes to then writing about someone else's ideas, we're responding, right? So we're thinking about writing in this way, and then we're kind of thinking about, okay, how does this relate to our overall topic of food? And that's where Sam Cass's TED Talk comes in. And it's entitled, Want Kids to Learn Well, Feed Them Well. This is a really great talk where he, you know, has some ideas that, you know, on the surface seem pretty obvious, right? But I don't think there's enough thought put into how kids learn, right? What the best way, and I say kids, and that's, you know, anybody under about 25 years old when it comes to brain development, right? We need to focus on health, nutrition, all of that kind of stuff to ensure that, you know, kids can learn as well as possible with the time that they have. Anyhow, I could go all day about this, but Sam Cass does a much better job than I would, and he is much more qualified than I am, so he is a source that we should look to and think about. So on Monday, everything's available, so watch the weekly instructional video, which you're doing now. There is a video that goes over the mind map instructions, which, you know, it's good to just make sure that you're doing everything you need to do, because you do have one of those assignments due Thursday, and then our usual quiz, excuse me, that's due on Sunday. I do want to make a note about the mind map due date, because I don't want this to be confusing to anybody. Yes, the original due date is going to be Thursday, but this is, you know, typically Thursdays we have our discussion posts due, and that is a hard deadline. There's no grace period because the discussion posts require responses, you know, just as though we're having a conversation with one another. Your colleagues are responding to your ideas, and so that means, you know, those need to be submitted at a certain time without, you know, a grace period. The mind map is not the same, right? It's for me. I'm going to look at that work. So what I've done is, the original due date is Thursday, but I'm also looking at this as something that, you know, can be due on Sunday, which also means it is subject to the 48-hour grace period that we have. So the final deadline for this is going to be Tuesday of next week. I don't say any of this to encourage you to take as long as possible or to wait until Monday night or something to complete this. I just say it so that you know that there is some cushion here. But if you're somebody who you really stick to the schedule, you have work and you have other people to take care of and you have all of these things on your plate, then get it over with and out of the way and have it submitted by Thursday. And then you have your participation quiz, which is due on Sunday, but that is another assignment that is subject to our grace period. So don't wait if you don't have to. The grace period really is there just for those who really need it in case of emergency, in case things get out of hand at home or at work or whatever. It's there for those situations. So don't get in the habit of taking advantage of that if you don't have to. But also, some of you have done this. Please don't email me and apologize if you need to take advantage of the grace period. That is absolutely not necessary because it is there for everyone. There is no judgment associated with that. Sometimes you need extra time, and that's okay. I don't even look at when an assignment was submitted unless I have to look to see which document to grade because multiple have been submitted because you were working on them. There's just no judgment there, so don't feel the need to email me. Of course, you can email me if you need help with anything, if you need resources, if things are rough and you just want me to understand what's going on, but there's no need to apologize or email me about that grace period. It's for you. It's there. You are watching what will appear as number 1 here. And then we have all the materials related to the mind map. Remember, the templates are here, but you can feel free to use mind map or Canva or any program where you can build a mind map that at least follows the guidelines, right? It has the central bubble and the 4 bubbles emanating out for those 4 main ideas, that kind of thing. All right, so if you go to the week 5 mind map area, it is going to be based on Cass's video. So his video title should be the central bubble, right? And remember, you should break down his ideas into 4 main ideas. What are the 4 main ideas that you identify from his talk? And from each of those main ideas, you need to choose a specific quote that helps support your idea that that is indeed a main focus that he directs our attention to in his talk. But for videos, we need to include a timestamp, right? So for timestamps, you need to click the read transcript button in the TED Talk. I went over this when we thought about Ron Finley's video, the gangster gardener in South Central, right? So I used examples here. If you need to review it, everything is here, how to do a timestamp, all of that good news and information, and then all the necessary links to complete and successfully upload your mind map assignment. All right, and then the only other thing to do this week is, in addition to making sure we're reading and watching everything, is to complete your participation quiz, which is based on everything we cover. So that link is down here at the bottom. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to post in our Q&A discussion board area. I love that so many of you have taken advantage of that so far, and I also appreciate that some of you, as friends and colleagues, are jumping in to answer those questions. I'm always going to be there to moderate if I see something I need to address, but it's always nice to help one another out. I love seeing it, so awesome. All right, everyone, take care, good luck this week, and just let me know what you need.